WTTV sat down with head boys soccer coach Shane Snyder, who discussed his path to career win 300 and the significance of soccer in his life.
I love soccer. I love sports in general. So to be able to, just show my passion for something that is character building and can make you a better person in life, and to be a role model. So I can build relationships. So I got into coaching because I love to be around people. I love to be around the sport. And so it's like, a perfect marriage of making connections with kids, and at the same time, trying to teach them a thing or two about soccer and about life, about, working hard and dedication and teammates and, selflessness, things like that. So it's hard to pinpoint why. My dad's a coach, my brothers are coaches, my dad's a teacher, so it's like kind of, not inevitable, but it's kind of something I grew up with. So my dad went to Frankfurt High School, then he was All-American at Penn State. So he went to Penn State, yeah. I was a defender. Yeah, so, and then when he graduated from Penn State, he got a job at Frankfurt High School teaching. He coached at Holy Ghost Prep for a little bit, and then he went to Frankfurt. And I think they won like 11 straight public league championships in the late 80s, early 90s. So they had a lot of success there. Actually, now he's 77. He coaches with my brother Jason. I have a middle brother, Jason, at Lindenwold High School. He teaches, and he coaches the boys soccer team, and he coaches tennis. But my dad's his assistant. That brother Jason played soccer at Ryder and York College. My other brother Billy went to TCNJ. At the time was Trenton State. Played soccer at Trenton State. They lost in the national championship, but they made it to the national finals. He graduated there. He taught chemistry at Pennsauken, and he was a soccer coach at Pennsauken. And now he's moved on to the athletic director at Pennsauken. Oh, wow. So my older brother Billy is the athletic director at Pennsauken. So as you can see, it's everything revolves around teachers, sports, and actually it's weird. My wife is the only one that's not in education. So my mom and dad were both teachers. Both my brothers and their wives are in education. They're both teachers. So when I went to St. Joe's, I always wanted to be a high school math teacher, right? So I went to St. Joe's and I was a math major, and then I ran into, I'll be honest with you, I ran into a professor that I couldn't get past. It was something I just couldn't pick up what he was putting down, and I would get help, and so I had to change it up a little bit. So I got a math minor. So on top of the math minor, I was like, well, maybe if I go the special education route, I can end up teaching still high school math, and that's how it turned out. So I have a math minor and a special ed cert. So I'm certified K to 12. I did my student teaching at Bancroft in Haddonfield, and then I student taught in first grade at Cooper Elementary School in Cherry Hill. So my student teaching experience was interesting. I mean, I enjoyed it, but man, elementary school teachers, they work. I was tired. Never thought I was tired. First grade is tiring. Like, high school I work, but first grade, my God, that's crazy. So I Bud Yonke, my old boss, passed away years ago, but he was a great, very influential in my life here. He was an awesome boss to have, awesome person. So I've been in a special education department for 23 years. I went back and got my master's in school counseling. So I went to Wilmington and got my master's in school counseling. I've been fortunate to teach, especially you can teach a lot of different subjects and content, but I've been in the math department, the special ed math side of it for 23 years. Financial lit, but that's kind of math. So it's been great. I have a mix of in-class support classes. I teach algebra, in-class support with Mrs. Bochansky. And I teach right now Foundations Algebra 2 resource room, so a smaller setting, to juniors. So I got a good mix of both, and I enjoy it. Fortunate to be in a district like this where I've really grown to love it. I'm still a Pennsauken guy at half of it, you know what I mean? But I really enjoy it here. I spent 4 years volunteering. So when I came here, I introduced myself to Tom Patterson. And so he was, I was fortunate enough where he allowed me to come here and volunteer. And then I volunteered, for a couple of years, and then the freshman in the JV, I think I was a freshman coach boys for a couple of years. And then after that, Procopio retired, and so I interviewed for the girls' job, and I was fortunate enough to get the girls' job, varsity. And so then I think it was seven years I was the girls' coach, and then I became the boys' varsity coach. I think it's really, it's different but similar. You know what I mean? Your children still trying to make connections. For me, It was tough because at the time I'm in my mid to late 20s, and like I'm very like, I don't know, I'm a go rah rah rah, and you got to be kind of more controlled with the girls, and it's just a little bit different. The style and the tactics are the same, but you got to try to get to know their personalities. Not more, but you try to do that with the boys. But it's more of like trying to get them to do what you want. The girls listen more than the boys, right? The girls they'll listen and they'll try more. You know what I mean? Which is neat. The boys think they know it all. So it's just different dynamics to feed off each other. So I enjoyed it, but really, I never really dreamt of coaching girls. I always wanted to coach boys. So I enjoyed it. But it was time for a change for me. I mean, the run we've been on has been awesome. Because to be honest with you, it started. I was a junior in high school, and we won the South Jersey final, and we went to the state semifinals, and we lost on a handball goal. I'll never forget. It was a bad call, and we lost. Or else we would have went to the College of New Jersey to play for the state finals when I was in junior high school. So it was always in my head. So then when I got here with the girls, Lenape, they were hands down way better than everybody. I beat them once in like 7 years. Probably I was 1-19. I don't know. They were really good. But then with the boys, we were knocking on the door. I forget what year it was. I'm bad with years, but one year we were 25-0. We played in the South Jersey finals and we lost to Clearview. So I think it could be arguably our best team ever. So we were rolling. We were undefeated and lost here and had a couple kids hurt, and things didn't go our way that game. The following year, we won a sectional title. We went to play for the state semifinal game, and we went down a man 10 minutes in, so we got a kid red carded, and we played the next 70 minutes, and we were the better team, and we lost in the last 2 minutes. We played with 10 men, and so like you're like, oh my God. And then that third year when we were knocking on the door is when it was crazy, and I'll never forget. We played Manalapan at, I think it was Freehold Township, because of course you had to go up there for a neutral site, but it was to get to the state finals, and we were up 2-1, and then they tied it 2-2, and it was a questionable call, and I wasn't sure how we were going to respond, and we won in overtime. And so the relief to get to the finals, because we had been so close, was amazing. And then we won that, we went to Kane, and we won a state title on that year, and it was, just awesome. The faces and the family and the friends, and I always laugh because my wife always makes fun of me because I cry. I'm a crier, but I cry at Miracle when Herb Brooks goes in the tunnel when they win and by himself, and he went like this. I can't watch that part without crying because internally it's everything he wanted to do, and he let his emotions out by himself, not with people, and that's the way I felt. Yeah. So, and it doesn't get old. You know what I mean? You win one, you win two, and then the third one was different because we were actually we had a bigger lead. You know what I mean? And we were better. The first two we scored, and it was like they were down our throat. So you're holding on, you're looking at the clock like, oh my God, is somebody pausing that clock? Somebody hit stop. You honest to God, I asked the assistant coach, Coach Wooster, to watch the clock to make sure that it just kept ticking because I felt like somebody was stopping it. True story. But the last one, I think it was 2-0 final, but with 4 or 5 minutes left, the other coach emptied his bench. I was like, oh my God, I was like, oh my God, so each one of them was different with a different group of kids, but they all were, awesome in their own right. And so we have an alumni game every year. The Saturday after Thanksgiving, and a lot of the alumni come back, and we play out here, and we get about 50 guys, and then we have a great time. We go to Wths afterwards, and they put a little bit of food spread out. It's a lot of great family and friends and reminiscent. Parents are awesome. I've gotten so fortunate. Great support families through the years. Yeah, I think I've changed. I have a couple of the guys that they'll pop by practice or the preseason. They're like, man, you're a lot softer now. Like you used to make us do this, a lot more running or a lot, I don't want to say meaner, but I think I still have the same expectations. Maybe I am a little softer, more maybe a little bit older, more mature. Now that I have, a wife and my own kids, maybe realize that, it's more than just wins and losses. It's trying to play the right way. I think I even did that when I was younger, but now it's even more like we'll talk about, what we can control. We can control our energy and our effort, and we can't control whether we win or lose. So we try to focus on that. But I think I've always tried to do that. So my philosophy is, playing the game the right way. Trying trying to take the 19, 20 kids and meld them into one ball. Where we're all pulling on the same rope. And if my enjoyment is seeing guys bond with each other and getting to know them and seeing the enjoyment that they have for each other and the love to be around each other. So I love Saturday morning practices. Okay, we do different things and we come in and we laugh and we usually play like a soccer volleyball or soccer tennis, and I love the way that they we beat Shawnee and they come in the locker room and there's a dance party and they're laughing and just I love seeing them be rewarded for their hard work. So yeah, it's great to see them get a scholarship, but at the same time, I don't get to see it. You know what I mean? They get it and they'll tell me about it, and it's great. But by the time they see me, it's like, hey coach, guess what? But it's not immediate. So that last year COVID was horrible because you weren't allowed in the locker room, and it was just that connection. You didn't get that connection. It was like just show up. You fellas showed up and then they left.
Yeah.
So we did the best we could. I don't want to say it was horrible, but it wasn't as much fun. Yeah, it might have. Yeah, it wasn't. It just wasn't as much fun. So that's one of the things that I enjoy the most, and it's like even the memories. So we go back with Kevin Hartwick coached me for many years, and we talked about the top 5 memories, and a lot of them weren't game related. It's something that might have had been off the field with the kids, or something that happened here, or how we laugh with it, something just just different things that may have happened, not the wins. You know what I mean? Like you're always going to remember a couple of the wins, but other than that, it's neat to have those type of memories. How would my dad describe me as a coach? Competitive, fair, honest. I think maybe those type of things. And that's what he was, hardworking. There's no. I'm going to try to be as honest as I can without hurting your feelings. Like sometimes you have to have those tough conversations with kids. Whether it's not making the team or we're not getting playing time or things that have to happen to go along the lines. But, if you don't make the tough decisions, then it festers. So I try to make those tough decisions, and be honest with the kids about them. If I'm thinking it, they're going to know it. It sometimes, in a kindly way as opposed to, coming at them.
Right.
But sometimes it does, again, you got to say what you think sometimes. So I try to my mom would say passionate, caring.